A relationship is a relationship that has to be earned, not to compromise for. And I love relationships. I think they're fantastic. They're wonderful. I think they're great. I think there's nothing in the world more beautiful than falling in love. But falling in love for the right reasons. Falling in love for the right purpose. Falling in love. Falling in love. When you fall in love, what is there to compromise about?
Hey world, my name is Janée. What does that mean, right?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Sophia.
And who's that other person that's in the room?
I don't know.
That other person is Craig.
Keep going.
Got it.
Keep going.
Oh, you sound nice.
I know.
So you finally, put your mouth close towards the head.
Oh my fucking God. We got a group. I am excited for the inaugural podcast of Views from a Cubicle.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
How does it sound?
I like it.
You like it?
I do.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
But in any case, Views from a Cubicle is a podcast specifically meant to, bring in thoughts and ideas from your day-to-day life, your work, conversations you hear on the street. And yeah, it's just exciting to be here.
You sound sexy though.
Do I? Maybe I'll get like something out of this.
Like a man?
I don't know.
Some peen or something?
Maybe. Today I want to talk about dating and relationships.
Oh,
Probably
boy.
one.
Oh boy.
Actually, is my favorite subject, Sophia. I mean,
Really?
it is.
We seem to talk about it a lot though. Like I talk about it a good amount.
I think it's everybody's, like, as an adult, it's probably
Yeah.
like everybody's favorite pastime. I mean,
Yeah.
I think guys try to act like it's not, but it is. What do you think, Craig?
No, we talk about it a lot. We
Yeah.
just talk about relationships.
In a different way?
Dating.
Oh, okay.
No, we talk about dating, relationships.
Stuff we hear and see, the fuckery that goes on.
Exactly.
Like, it's kind of crazy. And how it relates, I guess, to us.
Okay.
And how we deal with each other. Because it's very easy to get caught up in everyone else's drama.
Right.
So,
Right. I think it's my favorite subject because it sort of eludes me. But I must say, and I have little situations that are bizarre and weird. I just have this huge, ginormous fear of like commitment. So I don't.
Really?
I think so.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm in a committed relationship, but I haven't made the commitment, so I can see where you're coming from.
Oh, glad where you brought that up. So
I don't know what the people can't see you.
I know they can't see.
She did some kind of weird
She contorted her face really strange.
squirrel thing with her face.
I'm very expressive. He just mentioned that he's in a committed relationship, but hasn't, made the commitment.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering.
I mean, in any relationship, it's one of the things that you talk about and discuss. You have friends who are trying to be in a committed relationship, then you have friends that are in a committed relationship, and then you have us, where we're just trying to go. we're kind of going.
Then there's the third category.
Yeah, we're going with the flow.
Yes.
Is that what you want, Sophia?
It's funny because when you talk about relationships, and I had a bunch of friends, mind you, they're still single, who were always like, especially when I first met him, and he would I would be out with them, and then he would come get me or whatever, and they'd be like, well, make sure you don't spend no more than 6 months getting to know, because you don't want to be wasting time. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm getting to know this person, and however long that takes is however long that takes. I think that
Right.
everybody is different, and especially like if you're at a point, mind you, I just read this article the other day about this woman, I guess, who says that you shouldn't waste more than a year in dating someone. You shouldn't date for more than a year. But it basically relates to if you haven't had a conversation about marriage, and depending on your age, then you're wasting your time.
Right.
We're in a different situation because we talk about marriage all the time. we're not getting married, but it's not something that you should rush into either.
Sure.
And I feel like people love the idea of being married. I think they love the idea of having a wedding, and they don't necessarily
think about
what
commitment of
marriage is, or a commitment in general, because we don't have to get married at all, but we know at the end of the day what we're getting out of it for each other,
right?
You know, what we're putting into it, and that's, I think, the most important thing, because you could go get a piece of paper and then get divorced the next year. I think people get confused by the whole concept. So I don't place, you know, yes, I want to get married, but I don't place everything on that.
No, I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I mean, there's plenty of things. Well, I, you know, sit here and think about things by myself because I'm by myself. But I think those are the things that I'm thinking about. Like, do I really need to get married? Like, if I meet somebody who's wonderful, like, is it that important? Even though, you know, I was raised to think like marriage and children and, you know, blah, house.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, think about it. The people that say that, are they still married?
Not even still married. Like, some never even got married and they're still pumping that. Like, seriously. But it's like this thing, like, whether it happens or not, it's like this thing.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for men, like how it happens for men, but I feel like for women, like, it's this constant.
It's a pressure.
For sure.
Because you can't have one, but you got to think about kids, but you can't really do one without the other. And
for sure.
I think we live in a different time now. I don't think that it should be the focus of your life.
So it's two things, like intergenerational, whatever.
Generational, yeah.
Right.
Words.
In between both, like, I find that older people are like, where's your boyfriend? And why, man. And then young people are like, you ain't got no kid yet. Why you ain't got no kid? Like, you don't even have no kid. Like, you do. You actually do need something to have children. Like a partner. I think companionship means more than just saying, like, this is my husband. Okay, but if you don't like that nigga, then what's the point? Exactly.
I know a lot of people married that don't want to be married.
Me too.
I mean, you also have to think about the quality of the relationship that you're trying to have. I mean, just because some chick was willing to lay on her back, that she thought she was in a relationship. You know, she got a kid, but she didn't get married. She didn't have a husband.
She's still waiting.
And she still don't got a man. So once again, I think relationships are just that. The relationships. It's something that you have to develop and
work
build
on.
with yourself and with another person. A lot of people aren't good enough to be a part of your energy. And, you know, the first thing about having a good relationship with yourself, you have to understand that. I'm not talking about going on your Facebook and deleting all your friends or anything. But
you know, there's people who do that. Right?
There are people who do that.
And not even delete their friends, but like the act of like Xing them out, which to a degree I understand. Like, there's somebody you're trying to like get to know.
I think they're just grasping for control in their life, and they feel like Facebook or social media is one of those things where they can control the people who see what they see.
Yeah. Right.
And this will ultimately control who they want in their life. But once again, it's a personal thing. It's a personal journey. That, you know, I just, going into the relationship with Sophia, I just didn't want any pressure.
Okay.
You know, also I come from a very different thinking, and the way I think has always sort of intrigued people or confused people.
Okay.
Because it always sounded like I didn't want to be married or I didn't want to be in a relationship, that I just wanted bitches. But that's not the case. I love Sophia. I love being in a relationship. I totally want to be that Russell Simmons life. I want to be with my beautiful friends and have young, beautiful people, topless and happy.
It doesn't mean that he wants to sleep with all women. It just means he appreciates women.
I am not that elevated. I'm like not that woke.
It took.
If that's woke, I'm not woke.
What is compromise?
If a man came into your life, wouldn't you want to compromise?
Stupid.
I will say this. Again, when you grow up, right, you have people around you who are like, this is kind of what relationships are, right?
Right.
You got a man.
Right.
You with that man.
Right.
That man's with you. That's it. Y'all go on together. I think that when I met him, it was sort of like getting to know him. I was like, oh, okay, he's different. I kind of, he says what he thinks, like out loud. I just kind of have adapted to the way he thinks. I'm not going to say that I agree with everything he says.
Awesome.
I just am like, okay, let's look at that perspective.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I can say, we can have a conversation about it. It's not like, oh, why'd you say that? Like,
right.
What you mean? You don't want me no more? Like,
right.
It's not, I don't live in that world.
Men are legitimately from Mars. Women are so from Venus.
I agree with that.
Well, I mean, it's the same statement as a woman goes, I want a good man. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, I can tell you.
I mean, I've been a good man all my life, and
yeah.
I've, it hasn't been easy being the good man or the nice guy. So it's a general blanket statement. When women say they want a good man, what is it that
what
they're
does that
saying?
mean?
What does that mean?
What is it that you think a good man is?
A good man to me?
Yes.
So here's where I dream a little bit. So a good man is, he's kind, he is smart. No, he's kind and generous and ambitious and resourceful and thoughtful and a lot of things, right? Like there's plenty of things that makes a man good. Right, it's about finding your match, not your one, because I don't think that you necessarily have just one, but I do think it's about finding like your tribe.
Well, that also sounds like a friend.
I mean, he can be a friend, but
well, I mean, that's
wouldn't
the
it be
thing.
different if I say, yeah, I need a bunch of dicks on my team?
It would be different,
right? And I feel like that's how you approached it, or that's what it sounds like when you like bitches.
Okay, to the world, this is part of my humor, my joking, but
because you sound like you're joking.
I mean, my sarcasm doesn't come through a lot, but honestly, there's no if I feel good about someone, if I feel someone's worth having as a friend,
right?
They've always been considered as someone that I can be with. It's just energy has to feel right. I think the first thing for relationships is building with someone that you want to be a friend with.
That's an interesting perspective. And I think I've been like, as I'm dating, I've been thinking more about that. Like, oh, he seems like a cool person to get to know. Not so much because I think like guys that I've actually like dated have turned me on, which is a different thing. Like the difference between like seeing Idris Elba and being like, ooh.
Yeah.
And like seeing I can't even think of anybody else.
Kofi Sarabo.
Who?
Kofi Sarabo. Queen Sugar.
Girl, weak. He makes me weak. Let me just tell you, this is a fun fact. I didn't even realize that in the show he was saying Darla.
Darla.
I thought he was saying darling, and I thought he was talking to me.
No, I thought he said darling too, but it was Darla.
Girl. Like, I promise you, I thought he was saying darling. And I was like, yeah, he calling me. I gotta go to Louisiana, to wherever this Queen Sugar farm is. I gotta go. And it's unfair because, I mean, I think I'm walking around. I'm not Nia Longin dudes out here. Like, I'm not like... That's not what's happening.
Listen, we're visual a lot of times. We respond to,
and that's fine.
Right, but what I think I'm thinking about now, because I don't think it would just be a visceral reaction, like he looks good, and it would be no consideration to the kind of person he was, like the quality of person, or whether our personalities match. Because it's not. You're right. It's not necessarily whether he's. I'm sure a good person to his mom or a good person to the people that love him.
But he could be a really shitty person.
Right. Otherwise. Right.
But that's the thing about relationships. It's like you don't know until you kind of cross that threshold. Like we met at work. And so that was interesting because I was like, when I tell him the story all the time. I first saw him, I was like, who is this? Who are you? Like, he walked in and it was like he had a mink jacket on. And I was like, who the fuck?
That is so you. Oh my God. I remember
like,
that too.
I was like, who the fuck is this clown? Like, and it was like my first day there. So I was literally like, he walked in and I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. And I didn't know. That is
so funny.
I had no idea who he was. He had on like, you know, a fitted and this mink jacket. And I was just like, he had on some jewelry and shit. And I was just like, I don't know. And I already made this decision in my head.
And look at you 72 years later.
And he said the same thing about me because I have natural hair.
I was like, she don't eat pork.
What is that?
Why? She's giving.
I'm woke as fuck.
She's giving off this vibe like, I don't know. She's mad black soap and.
You're an asshole.
She burns incense and.
She doesn't use deodorant.
No, I use deodorant.
No, but I'm saying
he
like
thought I used deodorant.
That's
he just didn't think I ate bacon, which is, you know, funny to me. But I
get that all the time. Like I get like
this is the perception that people have,
right?
But honestly, it wasn't a negative thing. It wasn't.
He was just like, oh, it was an observation. I was like, oh, maybe I thought that about you.
You know,
but
it
you
was.
Didn't know.
Once again, I had decided to move past the exterior of someone. Like I didn't want to chase a type.
Gotcha.
I knew going in, moving forward, I wanted to be open-minded and.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not open.
A lot of people aren't open.
A lot of people aren't.
I mean, you know, when some of my friends first met her, a lot of people were rooting for Sophia. Yo, she straight had cheerleaders. Janée being one of them, and then another friend of mine. She was like, "Craig, don't fuck this up because I like her. She live in Brooklyn. I don't want to have to travel to go see her because you know I'm gonna still be friends with her afterwards. So if you fuck this up." Just know that I'm going to be having to link up with her somehow to go to Brooklyn.
That is funny.
So, you know, but she had the same charisma. I mean, she fit in well. I mean, that's why, you know, I liked her. I told her that. You know, I introduced her to my friends early on before we even established a relationship.
Right.
And once I got past the mink jacket and the jewelry, I actually got
the
to
BMW and the Benz.
Yeah, that too.
I'm done with you. Before we got off on a tangent,
the long ass tangent. That was like a 20-minute tangent.
I think I wanted to talk about like how soon is too soon to like commit to somebody. Like I know you guys brewed for some time, but
I think it just depends. Like I don't think that there's a time limit. This is what when I going back to like people were like, well, you know, you gotta make sure that you talking about this. I'm just like, okay, do what's right for you. That doesn't work for me. Like I'm the type of person like I've always kind of like dated friends or been more comfortable with people who I knew for a long time. Okay. Because you have a familiarity with them, and it just feels natural. But that's just me. I think it just depends. Like some people date, get married after 6 months because it feels good. Right. That's fine. You know, sometimes it takes a couple years.
I think things should just develop and happen organically. It's a very personal thing. Like for me, it's a journey. You know, going into this relationship, I wanted to sort of experience everything again. A lot of people dwell and are sad about things and breakups and past relationships, and I didn't want to feel sad about anything. I just wanted to be like, oh, it's just life. It allows you to feel and bounce back and feel good about stuff. You know, the scary thing for me was being the person that, you know, the person that I know she wanted me to be, the man that I was trying to be capable of being. That was difficult.
The face that Sophia is serving right now.
No, I mean,
you know them lips, them kissed out lips with the shoulder action. Yes.
No, it took some time.
Craig.
No. I mean, it honestly, I mean, it's just like, I mean, for me personally, I can only speak for me. Not even, I don't want to say as a man because someone say, oh yeah, all men think like this. No, for me, you know, I always, forever, and I don't think it's ever going to go away. I always had a lot of lust in my heart, but that doesn't,
a lot of lust,
temptations,
lust, like, you know, I like.
That's natural.
But isn't that natural for everybody?
Yes.
No, it is, but it's something that we don't talk about
Because
culturally.
people think that when you're in a relationship that
It just
everything
goes-
shuts down.
It just goes away. Like, and I growing up, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where my thinking was a little bit different. Like, for a long time, I didn't think it was. I thought people just had sex who they want to have sex to, but you married the person that you want to be with forever.
No, but I get your perspective. I understand what you mean.
For example, if I want to prove to Sophia that I want to be with her, and
I feel like this is going somewhere. People, come on, we're listening.
It's that.
that I want to be with her, and I want to.
Yeah, Craig.
And I don't want to give her doubt that I'm for her or I'm not the man for her. I have to show her. I can't act like a man who's single. I can't look and live like a man who's single.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to play your part. That's
Okay.
it. Like there's nothing to it. If I walked around and I hung out with nothing but pimps, and I'm trying to convince her that no, I'm not a pimp. I'm not about these hoes. What are you talking about? I'm about you, baby.
I wouldn't believe
You better run. You're gonna be like, oh well, he just chose to look like that today.
Those are his friends.
Those are his friends and his clothes. He's expressing himself.
I feel like sometimes. No, I get your point though. I totally get your point. I mean, I don't know. I guess what I've gotten from you guys so far is that you're learning, you're figuring it out, just like the rest of us, right?
All day,
Yes.
every day.
You're having fun while doing it, and I guess that's the most important thing, right?
We're having fun. We're happy.
And if we're not, then we talk about it.
Yeah.
If you get confused, if I get confused and I'm like, no, today I'm having a hard day.
Do you have those days?
No, I don't, honestly.
Okay. Do you ever have those days?
Surprisingly, I haven't.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I mean, even my feelings of like lust towards other women have subsided because this emotion of love has like came and
Everybody,
changed me.
this sounds like it's going somewhere.
It will go somewhere.
Okay, got it. Just make sure it's on this podcast.
No, I think in the beginning, we all want like relationships.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we want a relationship. But like you, it wasn't that I had a fear of commitment. Actually, I did have a fear of commitment. But I didn't really know what commitment was. It's not like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be faithful. Because that wasn't the question. It was, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
I don't know what my role is. Like, I had a hard time. We moved in together. I had a hard time in the beginning. Not like anything bad, like with him. I just was like, oh God, does that mean I have to like be like wash dishes and that shit? I was like, I gotta do this shit every day. Like, he helps me. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying like for me, it was like it took me back.
Yeah, like
to,
culture shock. Yeah. Like your grandmother.
I was just like, oh God, like this is crazy. Like I can't just go. I can't just get up and go. I can.
There's somebody you have to consider though.
I have to consider him and I have to be like, well, I'm going to do something today.
Right.
But we do things together, which I do appreciate. But I was like, my mom was like, all right, what you doing? All right, I'm on my way. Like, it's different. So there's a lot of things that you have to consider when you're in a relationship that people don't think about because they just do what they want.
Right.
And so this is where the conflict comes in because you're thinking about yourself.
Right.
And not the other person. And so that's the hardest thing because you literally have to think about other people.
I mean, I think it's dope.
But we have these conversations.
I think that's probably the most touching thing to like witness about your relationship is how much you guys actually communicate.
Yeah.
It's pretty endearing. Like it's very like sweet to see. Because I mean even like close girlfriend relationships, like girlfriends,
yeah.
It's like you take for granted. Like I know them for years, and then suddenly something changes, and you're like, oh shit,
What happened?
What? Right, and then there's no conversation. It's just like
yeah. It's just cut off.
Right. Things just stop.
And I think, when you're with a partner, you can't do that because that's when conflicts arise. And people, mind you, people get married and do the same thing. And then you wonder, like, well, what happened? They just stopped talking. Right. Or, somebody went into it with one set of ideas and y'all wasn't on the same page. There was no conversation.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I got this right. So, from the guy's perspective, men do talk about relationships, right? They are clear about the things that they want. It's just a matter of us tuning our listening. Is that what you were saying? Like, we have to learn to listen better?
No. I think, not overly generalizing anything. Mm-hmm. I just think that, like you were just saying, there has to be communication.
Okay.
We have to talk things out sometimes.
Right.
We have to say what we want from the relationship. A lot of times people don't say anything. They just like, this is good right here. Let's just let this be.
Right.
So what happens is people tiptoe. Mm-hmm. People dance around any issues that may come up because they don't want to lose or break what they think they have already built.
They don't want to make the other person mad.
For me, I'm used to making things and taking it apart and starting over. Mm-hmm. I'm never afraid of that because when you do it a second time, a third time, you come out stronger.
Right.
So sometimes we may need to sit down, talk, reset, build again, and that's fine.
And that's new for me because I was not a talker.
Well, I feel like I've never met anybody who is as expressive as the book. I'm expressive.
Yes,
I don't mind spilling my guts.
Yes.
And making a fool of myself, but oftentimes I'm left on an island and then you just feel like a dummy, like, that was dumb.
I shouldn't have said that. I should have kept that to myself.
I'll be completely candid. I got stood up this weekend. Cue the...
Dump them. Don't see him again.
We're not together.
It don't matter. Don't stop talking to him. What?
So, but... I mean, that's not the whole story, right?
Okay.
So it's like, it becomes this thing where it's like, how much do you express yourself? And I will say, we weren't a couple, we were matched. And so I was excited at the thought, and it did seem to have seemed to be sprouting little legs.
Okay.
And I got excited, like, ew, I wonder if he'll like my cooking, like this stuff. I was excited to do things for him. Like,
did y'all go on a date?
We did not. The date we were supposed to go on.
But you were gonna cook for him?
I'm excited about that. Like, all that stuff, I'm excited about. Like, I cannot wait to meet somebody.
She wants to be cooking in the kitchen with booty shorts on and passing the eggs.
Whose story is this?
That's what she's thinking about. Like,
no.
Yeah. You're like, I got these cute shorts. I could totally.
She got her apron. She got her apron with the back out.
I'm excited to. Okay.
You want some ketchup? You want some ketchup? You want some syrup?
You are crazy. No, I'm excited about caring for somebody. Like, I'm totally excited about having somebody in my life in a way that I can dote. I cannot wait for that.
So do you think you're going to give him another opportunity to take you out or whatever?
So I saw this meme today.
Okay.
That is exactly what my life is.
Okay.
Right? I'm constantly torn between if it's meant to be, it'll be, and if you want it, go get it.
Okay.
Right? Like,
yes.
Has
he given you signs where he's like,
no, it's not even that deep. Like, it really isn't even that deep. Like, it's honestly like, it wasn't that deep. Like, we just met. We were talking a lot. Like, there were a lot of laughs. I think I don't want to say I was proud of myself, but I think I was proud of myself because I pushed past the fact that I wasn't like Idris Elba. Ooh.
Okay.
Right? Like, I wasn't
you stepped out of your comfort zone a little
right.
bit.
And I started to see him as a person and like, oh, he seems interesting. Like, ooh, we were on the phone and I remember him asking, he was like, so what are you into? And even little stupid shit like that, it's like, look at you want to know what I do or what I want to do. Like, to me, that's like exciting.
Like a schoolgirl. I love it.
It's exciting. And then for it to like just fall flat. And it seems like I can be just being completely candid. It seems like the last couple of guys who I remember, so y'all know I take an express bus to work or whatever. And there was this bus driver I was talking to who also, I didn't think he was cute either, but he was funny. He was amusing. He would talk to me every day, even the days I wanted to fall asleep on the bus. He would talk to me every day.
You gotta watch those bus drivers.
Right.
I know. You know, listen,
I heard story.
I'm sure. But even before that got to like sprout like some legs and do like a little dance. Let me just get to the cute part, damn it. One day or a couple of days in a row, I didn't get to speak to him or sit in this front seat next to him. And this one day when I was getting off, he had a paper with his number on it for me. And I was like, like excited. Like, what?
Okay.
Yeah, nothing. Like nothing. Like, yeah. Like flatline nothing. Like,
are you initiating? Sometimes
you have to understand that guys wake up in the morning. They was thinking about you the night before. They kiss their wife on their forehead. He's like, today's gonna be the day. I'm gonna get her.
My number.
But then something happened where they were like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to give that energy out because I don't want to fuck this up. Or Jay-Z's album came out and they thought about relationships and loving their wife.
That was awesome, Craig. Like, that was
so it has nothing to do with you.
I feel like you know all the guys that I'm dating.
It has nothing.
You know,
honestly, I'm just saying. A lot of times it has nothing to do with you.
You're right, but I will say that it's kind of hard to not take it personally. Yeah. Like, you know, on the one hand, you're right. This ain't about me, whatever. Let me just cook my eggs and get ready. Let me like keep building my eggs so when he do come, I'll be like, look what I got. Yeah. But it becomes like this like sticky icky like.
Listen, you're describing my whole teenage college years right now. I mean, you know how hard it was to date and try and talk to people when they're like, college, you don't got a car. You ain't selling drugs?
Nah, bitch, I got books. What you want?
Like, nah, I'm not trying to chill with you in the dorm room. Like,
you on a train? Ew.
Or I'm 16. Like, you don't got your own place? What?
I'm 16.
I'm
dude.
16. What are you talking about? My man, he 24. It took a while, and I always tell Sophia this, that I'm glad that I didn't end up bitter from that. Angry at women.
I ended up bitter and angry at men.
But I didn't.
I'm joking, I kid.
No, I know. But, you know, for me, because sometimes I think about it now, because I look at those chicks who got impregnated by their 24-year-old man with his own apartment, and they're
left
single,
right there.
Yeah,
right.
They were single mothers. They was bad. Their kids is teenagers now.
Right.
I see them on Facebook. See them on the Instagrams. And
what they doing on Instagram?
Sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, you know, when you could have chose better, you still chose wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've never felt a kind of way about being the friend, the safe guy for 2.2 seconds, the option, like all those feelings that people feel when they feel like, well, is it me? Like, oh yeah, it is you. That means
like,
that
you're a big
just
guy. You could take care of me.
You're just awesome. That's it. You're just too awesome for whatever they got going on right now, and just time will tell. That's just what it is. Sometimes people wake up for the bullshit. A man's telling you right now that men wake up sometimes for the bullshit. He had that number ready. He woke up and said, today's gonna be the day, and then he changed his mind for whatever reason. A lot of times there's a lot of external things. There's a lot of people in relationships times 2, times 3. Like they go into relationships, but they trying to have multiple relationships.
Right. They have a bunch of stuff going on. And thank God, like, I'm not in the wrong situation. I'm happy I'm not in the wrong situation. I'm safe. You know, I have people and family and friends in my life that I trust and I love. So I'm not bitter about it all. I'm still having fun and I'm still creating myself. So what I got from you guys is that you guys are creating your relationship and as you go, which, you know, and your life as you go, which is a great place to be.
Isn't love a union between two people? Or does Eartha fall in love with herself?
I think if you were to think about it in terms of analyzing, yes, I fall in love with myself. I want someone to share me with me.
It's a really, really good place to be. And I don't feel behind or left out, you know. It's my own story. I'm creating it and trying to figure it out. But I want to thank you both for sharing, for being so candid about your situation.
Of course.
I love to take
this was fun.
Was it? Did you have a good time? Did you have a good time, Craig?
I had a good time.
did.
That is so awesome. I'm so excited to hear that. Seriously.
Yes.
Seriously. But I'm really happy that you guys chose to share so much. I feel like I've learned a lot today.
We're open books.
I can't wait for the next show. If anybody has any questions, any comments, maybe keep your comments to yourself. Or, I mean, if you're nice about it, we'd like to hear your comments.
Well, you know comments don't work like that.
I know they don't. I have to take them
They
off.
either have to be off or you have to just attack them.
So whatever, bring the comments on. But if you want to talk to us directly, talk to me directly, you can email us at viewsfromacubicle@gmail.com. Again, that's views with an S, fromacubicle@gmail.com. Once again, I'm Janée. This is Sophia and Craig signing off. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Unfltrd TV. Check us out on SoundCloud at Unfiltered Talk Radio. Once again, signing off from Views from a Cubicle.